Wanted to show you guys this cool new flashlight I got. And man, this sucker is so bright that when I shine it on something, it lights on fire. Watch this piece of paper right here. Whoa, stop. No. What's going on, everybody? Today we're going to take a look at the Fenix LD41. I hope you thought that the intro was a joke. Honestly, it's just a magic trick that I do. This light obviously cannot light things on fire when you shine it on something. Plus, I had the beam on the low mode so that you would actually see the paper in frame. The light's so bright that when I put it on high mode, it just pretty much washes out the entire screen. But anyways, wanted to start the review off with a little bit of some humor, maybe some comedy, I don't know, lighten the mood a little bit. Sometimes these reviews get a little bit too serious, and we're all on YouTube to laugh, not always to just read about all the cool new gear. We're also on here to laugh and have a little bit of fun. So anyways, let's get right to it. This is the Fenix LD41. Just got this light not too long ago. Been playing around with it for the past week, and I really like it. There's some really cool features about it. Obviously, you guys have seen I've reviewed the Fenix LD40 before, which is also another light I really like. But basically, I wanted to get this review out there and also show some comparisons between the two flashlights, the LD40 and LD41. Talk about the key differences that Fenix has done to the newer model, and also do some beam shots at the end, comparing both lights. So to start it off, I'm going to go ahead and give you guys some weight measurements. Let me bring out my crack scale here that I use to measure all my drugs. That's also another joke, if you didn't get that. Alright, I have 4 AA batteries in here right now, so I'll measure it with the batteries. Measures in at 9.8 ounces. Just to kind of compare and contrast, the old LD40 with batteries measures at 10.0 ounces with 4 AA's. They're different brand AA's, but these are alkaline AA's. So with batteries, in actuality, the LD41 is a little bit lighter. Now let me take the batteries out and we'll measure the weight without the batteries. Now obviously this is a 4 AA battery flashlight. Gives you 6 volts of power, which is comparable to a 2 CR123A battery powered flashlight. One of the interesting features about the LD41, but I just wanted to give you guys a weight, the actual weight of the light without the batteries. Let me tear it on again. So it's about 6.3 ounces, which is a little bit heavy for your average LED flashlight of this type, but not considering that it's a 4 AA battery flashlight. It's still totally carryable. But if you're looking for an ultra lightweight flashlight, this really isn't, it's not the one for you. This is a high powered light. I believe it has 500 lumens out the front measurement. This does have the XML LED. I believe it's a U2. Like I said, I think 500 lumens on turbo. Basically, I'm just going to run through the modes and kind of go through the review here, give you guys my thoughts and opinions on the light. The first thing you might notice is that the body of this light is no longer plastic. In the prior LD40, the entire handle is a plastic. I don't know the exact plastic terminology or material, but the head of the flashlight is aluminum, whereas the handle is plastic. On the LD41, the body is also aluminum, which is what a lot of people complained about on the LD40, so I'm glad to see that Fenix made some changes to that. Although I will say a lot of the arguments were that the plastic body or polymer, whatever this is, might not be durable over time, but as you can see, I've had this one for a long time. It's got scratches, nicks, it's been dropped, it's been through heck and back, but it's held up fine. But I really do like the all-metal design of the LD41. You can look at the size difference. The LD41 is slightly smaller as far as length. I'd say about ½ an inch. If you look at it from this view, they're very similar. The head is a little bit smaller on the LD41, the diameter of the head. If you compare, here's the LD40 right here, LD41 right here. The body's about the same width and diameter. But what I really like about the LD41 is how they've added the tail cap, well, not a tail cap, but the bottom of the flashlight actually has the ability to tail stand, at least on this model, on the LD41, which is great. It also has kind of a beveled out on the tail of the light so that you can grip it like this easier. It has momentary on, so that I guess if you're in law enforcement and you needed to hold it like this and hold your gun, just like so. It's kind of hard for me to show you in this frame on the camera, but I really do like that feature. Speaking of grip, it fits in my hand like a glove because of the way that it's designed. I do have a bit on the larger size hands, but it just locks right into my hand because of the way that the body of the flashlight is designed. So we talked about the fact it does have momentary on. It does tail stand. Let's run through the modes. Basically, it's got 4 brightness modes. You got your low, medium, high, turbo. Let me cycle through it so you can see back here. Low, medium, high, turbo. Turn the light off, turn it back on, and it memorizes the mode, but it only memorizes the low, medium, high, or turbo. If you jump into your strobe mode, which is you hold the secondary button down for 1 second, and then you turn the light off, it will not stay in your strobe mode, and you cannot access strobe anyway while the flashlight is turned off. Same thing goes for SOS. To get into strobe, you hold this button down for 1 second. To get into SOS, you hold it down for 3 seconds, and then let go, goes into your SOS mode. But just remember, when you turn the light off, it's not going to stay in your SOS mode. It'll only memorize the low, medium, high, or turbo. But all in all, I really like the operation. It's basically the same operation as the LD40. I really like that operation. Couple other things I like about the light is that they do have a crenelated bezel now. On the LD40, it did not. You see there. You know, not that you would ever want to or hopefully ever need to use this as a weapon, but in the event that you did, let's say you're walking alone by yourself using your flashlight as lighting at night, and somebody threatens you with a knife or a gun, even though this is not a weapon, this becomes a weapon at that point if you don't have another weapon on you to protect your life. So the fact that this is an all metal body, it does have some heft to it. It's 4 AA battery flashlight. You know, you definitely could use it as a weapon if you had to. Not that I'm encouraging that, but I do encourage that you defend yourself in a legal way. Anyways, moving on. It does have a smooth reflector, but even though it's smooth, the beam is pretty darn smooth as far as has a pretty good profile. I don't notice any donut. You see a little bit of a donut hole maybe in the beam up close like this, but I don't notice that when you get further away. Really nice spill area, has a lot of flood in it, and it also has a nice defined hot spot, although this is not really meant to be a throwing flashlight. By throwing, I mean it does throw probably, I would say, at least 100 yards in pure darkness, no problem. Maybe even further, but it also lights up the area within that 100 yards very, very well. It has great spill and great flood, which is one of the features I really like about this light. And I'm going to go ahead and I'll do some beam shots for you guys, some comparisons with the LD40 to show you kind of the tint differences between the two lights, because the LD40 did have more of a neutral, more of a warm white tint. But overall, I really like it. I think it's primarily, obviously it's not an EDC light. It's not a light you're going to carry every day in your pocket, but it does come with a holster. It's a nylon holster. Real good quality from what I can tell. It does have a belt loop on it, but it doesn't snap or it doesn't have Velcro on it. It's just fixed, so you just would put it through your belt there. And that's actually how I like to carry it in my primary use of this flashlight, which is a walking / jogging light. Now, some people might say it's a little bit heavy to jog with, but I really don't notice it because this is typically all I'm carrying in my hand, and I'll just alternate between hands. You know, obviously if you're going to run 10 miles, you're not going to want to carry this light, but if you're just going a mile, 2-3 mile jog, the weight's not really that much of an issue, at least for me, because I'm not going to get into this, but really a lot of people when they're running, they swing their arms way too much, and it's really not an issue carrying a little bit of a hefty light. Plus, I like the fact that it's a little bit heavier, something to hold on to. You get a little bit of safety feeling when you carry it. But anyways, that's pretty much going to do it for the tabletop review. I am going to jump into some beam shots to try and compare the LD40 and the LD41 to give you an idea of the brightness and how the beam profile is, so stay tuned. Alright, so we're going to look at some indoor beam shots of the Fenix LD41 and compare it with the Fenix LD40. We're indoors right now in a hallway that's about 25 feet long. So first let's look at the Fenix LD41. This is the turbo mode with fresh batteries. You can see that it has a defined hotspot. The hotspot is definitely larger as far as comparing to the LD40, which I'll show in just a second. But it has just a big old spill line. You can see that it illuminates the entire side and area over here, the whole spill, as well as a real defined hotspot. Let me go ahead and show the LD40 now. This is in the turbo mode. Now you can see the difference right off the bat, both in brightness, and also you can see that the hotspot is smaller and much more defined on the Fenix LD40. It does have quite a bit more throw, although you can't notice that here. We're just in a short hallway. But in looking at the beam, the LD40 had just as much spill, or almost as much in my opinion, but it's just a different tint. It's a warmer tint, more natural, more neutral white, so to speak. Here, let's take a look at the Fenix LD41 on top and the LD40 on the bottom. You could kind of see the difference in hot spots. Again, on the bottom, Fenix LD40, top, Fenix LD41. So that just kind of gives you an idea of the beams. Now I'm going to go ahead and show you some beam shots outside and give you a better idea of the difference between these two flashlights. Alright guys, I don't know if you can hear me, it's kind of windy out here, but we're going to finish the video with some outdoor beam shots of the Fenix LD41. Here we are, I'm in a desert field right now. You're looking at probably around 50 yards as far as I can see. But this is the Fenix LD41. The beam has some good throw, but you can tell it has a really nice big hot spot in the center, along with a lot of spill. We'll go ahead and take a look at the Fenix LD40. Let me get it to high mode, or turbo. So you have the Fenix LD40 on the right, Fenix LD41 on the left. You can tell that the LD40 has more of a defined hot spot, probably has more throw, but probably not quite as bright. Here's the LD40 on its turbo mode. See, I'll show you low, medium, high, turbo, and then I'll put the LD41 on high, low, medium, high, turbo. So there you have it. There's the Fenix LD40, Fenix LD41. Alright, one more thing I wanted to add is I wanted to talk about the tint differences. Here's the Fenix LD40. You can tell it has a nice warm tint to it, kind of a neutral white tint. You go take a look at the LD41 here on the left. It still is a neutral tint with the XML U2 emitter, but it's not quite as warm as the LD40, so there are some tint differences. So anyways, thanks for watching as always. Appreciate you guys for watching the review. Hope it was helpful if you're looking to pick up one of these flashlights, and I'll talk to you later. Peace.